It was a sunny day in June and I was biking along a trail in Banff National Park. I had been riding for about an hour and I was enjoying the scenery and the fresh air. I was not expecting to see any wildlife, except maybe some squirrels or birds. But then, as I turned a corner, I saw something that made my heart stop. It was a huge black bear, standing on its hind legs and sniffing the air. It was only about 20 meters away from me and it looked like it had noticed me too. I froze in fear and tried to remember what I had learned about bears. I knew that black bears are not as aggressive as grizzlies, but they can still attack if they feel threatened or hungry. I also knew that I should not run away or make any sudden movements, as that could trigger a chase response. I slowly reached for my bike horn and tried to make some noise to scare the bear away. But the horn did not work. It was broken. I cursed under my breath and looked around for another option. I saw a can of bear spray in my backpack, but it was too far to reach without moving too much. The bear started to walk towards me, growling softly. It looked curious and hungry. I felt a surge of panic and wondered if this was going to be my last day on Earth. After the bear left me bleeding on the ground, I knew I had to get help as soon as possible. I was in shock and pain, but I also had a survival instinct. I checked my wounds and saw that I had deep bites and scratches on my arms, legs, chest and face. I also felt a sharp pain in my ribs and suspected they were broken. I grabbed my bike and tried to ride it, but it was too damaged. So I decided to walk instead. I remembered that there was a ranger station about 10 miles away from where I was attacked. I hoped that someone would be there or that I would encounter another biker or hiker on the way. I wrapped my jacket around my wounds to stop the bleeding and started walking. It was the longest and hardest walk of my life. Every step was agony and I felt dizzy and weak. I kept looking over my shoulder, afraid that the bear would come back for me. I don't know how long it took me, but I finally reached the ranger station. It was empty, but there was a radio inside. I used it to call for help and told them what happened and where I was. They said they would send a helicopter to pick me up as soon as possible. I collapsed on the floor and waited. The helicopter arrived about an hour later. They lifted me up on a stretcher and flew me to the nearest hospital. There, they treated my wounds and gave me antibiotics and painkillers. They told me that I had lost a lot of blood and that I had multiple fractures, infections and nerve damage. They said I was lucky to be alive. I spent several weeks in the hospital, recovering from my injuries and undergoing surgeries and physical therapy. I still have scars and some mobility issues, but I'm grateful that I survived. It was a terrifying experience that changed my life forever.